This may seem simple, but to some people, they don't know, and I think it's important that we actually make a video about it. How to properly submit an insurance claim. Let's get right into it right now in 3, 2, 1. What's up, advocates? Welcome back to another episode of the Commercial Claims Show. I am your host, Vince Perri, owner and CEO of Elite Resolutions and Commercial Claims Advocate. If you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe now because we come out with new stuff every single week. No matter what, in our company, it is a must that we have to come out with a new video every single Wednesday. We call it Content Wednesday. Now, if you're struggling and waiting forever and a day to get paid on your claims because you have to wait for the mortgage company, you have to wait for the client, you have to wait for all of these things, Iink Payments by Iink solves that for you. By simply uploading it onto their system, everything gets processed and you get directly deposited your fee into your bank account. Choose Iink Pay and make sure that you use the promo code VINCE so that you can get $299 off the initial registration fee. So go ahead and check it out, Iink Payments. We've been using it for a long time. Everybody needs an attorney on their side. So whether you're a public adjuster, a contractor, or anyone else in the insurance claims business, make sure that you have an attorney that you could rely on, that you can go to for questions whenever you need it. That guy for me for the last 12 years has been David Farber. David Farber is the owner of the Farber law firm, and he has been there for me from the beginning of my career until now. And I would love for him to be able to help you as well. So make sure you call him at this number here and visit his website so you can learn more about the amazing David Farber of the Farber law firm. I'm going to talk about something I think is very simple, but to some people they might not know. So this is going to be good for you new and starting out public adjuster and really good for a policyholder just to understand how to properly submit a claim. There are things that you have to have prepared. There are things that you have to know that the insurance company is going to ask you. So I'm basically going to tell you what the insurance company is going to ask you when you call the insurance company and you say, hey, I need to submit a claim. I'm going to tell you basically that stuff now so you could have all those questions already answered. It's not too complicated. We do have a checklist at our company to make sure everyone has all this stuff before they give it to our admin department to call the insurance company, because we want to have all those questions answered already as well. So let's get right into it. So basically, you want to submit the claim as soon as something happens. I want you to understand that it is very important that as soon as a loss occurs, you call the insurance company. Sure, you could wait a little bit if you're doing different things like you're mitigating the damage, like you call the company to put a tarp on your roof, or you call the company to set up machines, or something happened in the middle of the night and you don't know what to do. A lot of times you call a public adjuster, right? You know who a public adjuster is. They come out, they assess the damage. You want the public adjuster to assess the damage before you submit the claim. So there may be a couple days there that you have to sort of protect your property and get the proper experts out there to take a look at everything to let you know whether or not you should actually file this claim or not. But for the most part, you want to notify the insurance company as soon as possible. And by as soon as possible, really within a couple of days, and really no more than a week. Okay? And I say that because there's a lot of people who there's statutes and there's laws that says you could submit a claim up to a year after it's occurred. Sure, that's true. But understand that the insurance policy does specifically say you need to submit the insurance claim. You need to notify the insurance company as soon as possible. So although they may allow a year, if you wait a year, or even if you wait a couple of weeks or a month, the first question that the insurance company is going to ask is, what took you so long? What happened from the date that the loss occurred to the date that you submitted it? Like, what was going on in between there? You don't want to have to answer those questions, so make sure that you submit that claim as soon as possible. My advice is the best way to submit a claim is to call. You need to call the insurance company and submit the claim. Why? You get to talk to a person, you get the claim number right then and there, you know it's been submitted, everything is good to go. The other option you have of submitting a claim is, of course, you could do it online. You can do it through the website of most any insurance company now, and you could just go ahead and submit it online. Some insurance companies provide you with the claim number right then and there. Some email it to you later. Another way is probably an app. If you have an app for your insurance company, you could probably submit it there. You could submit it through the app. The first thing they're going to ask you is obviously for your full name and for your policy number. So make sure you have your declarations page available so you can have all that information. All the information that you need is going to be in the declarations page. Okay, from obviously your name, your address, the name of the insurance company, the policy number, and you're going to have all your limits and stuff like that there. You'll have your deductible there to look at. But to answer the questions that they're going to be asking you, basically, they're going to want you to confirm the address. They're going to want you to give them the policy number, and that'll open everything up, and that'll actually get the process started. The next thing they're going to ask you is what happened. You're going to have to give a brief description of the loss. If I can give you an advice, just working on the side of the policyholder, try to be as detailed but as limited as possible. Don't go on this crazy story about anything and everything. It's just ultimately, it's just going to hurt you the more that you say. To be honest, stick to the facts, stick to exactly what happened, and then don't get crazy about it. Again, it's another good reason why you hire a public adjuster. We just basically say exactly what happened, what was damaged, and where it occurred. So that's basically what you want to talk about. Explain exactly what happened. Was it a hurricane that passed by? Was it a fire? How did that fire start? If you know, give them that information. Is a water pipe burst or something like that? And how did that occur? And they're going to want to, after that, after they find, okay, so it's a water loss. Now they have, and they could somehow, some way determine the cause of loss. They're going to want to know what rooms were affected. Okay, that's a big one. What rooms were affected if it's interior? If it's not, if it's an exterior, they just say no rooms, only the exterior. So what rooms were affected in the interior? That's what you're going to have to answer. Tell them what rooms were affected. They're going to want to know if mitigation was called out, if a mitigation company was called out. If you don't know what a mitigation company is did you call a company to dry everything out? If you say yes, they're going to want to know the name of that company. If you haven't done so, they may ask if they could send their own company out. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. Just understand that the insurance companies that they send out to properly dry your home are limited to specific guidelines, as opposed to if you find public adjusters know a bunch of mitigation companies, but if you find somebody who's really good, they're going to do what needs to be done, and then they'll go ahead and they'll deal with the insurance company directly. But if you call, they're going to want to know if you've mitigated your damages and if you've called the company. They're going to want to know if it's a water loss, did you call a plumber? If so, give them the name of the plumber. And they're going to want to know, what did the plumber do? The plumber made a repair, turned off the water, did whatever they did. Did you call a roofer? Okay, what did the roofer do? Well, the roofer came up, did a repair. Or the roofer came up and he put a tarp up. You know, whatever it is, they're going to want to know what kind of experts, what kind of professionals. They're going to want to know if you called a public adjuster out. And they're going to want to know the name of that company because they're going to now want to deal with the public adjuster directly. Those are two other questions that they will ask. Is the house livable? And was there any personal property damage? And if there was, you're going to have to submit a content sheet of all the personal property that was damaged. And if the house is not livable, you're going to have to find a place to stay. And you're going to have to submit your invoices for them to pay you for the place that you're staying in. Okay, this time that's it. Those are all the questions. What happened exactly? How many rooms, which rooms and how many rooms were affected? Was a mitigation company called? Was a plumber called? An expert called? Is the house livable? Is there any personal property that was damaged? After you give them that information, what's going to happen next is they're going to submit it into their system. And right then and there, if you are talking to them on the phone, they will provide you with a claim number. This is the holy grail. The claim number is the holy grail. You have to make sure that you keep this number. This is the number that will determine your claim. And when you call back to the insurance company, it is the number that you will give them that will pop open the claim. Once you submit that claim, then you could sit back and you could relax for about a day or so, and the insurance company will contact you normally within 24 hours to either ask you further questions or to schedule the inspection for them to go out there. The insurance company does have to investigate before they go ahead and submit or before they go ahead and determine coverage. So in that case, they will call you within 24 hours and someone will schedule a time to go out to the house to inspect the loss, to take a look at it, which they will photograph, and they will put an estimate together. They'll gather any kind of documentation. Make sure that you've got stuff that you want to send to the insurance company. You got to have some kind of documentation, some proof. If you've got photos, send it to them. If you've got an estimate, send it to them. If you've got a repair bill, send it to them. A Home Depot bill, send it to them. Anything that you've got, send it to them because it will help in their investigation. The more information that they have, the more higher likelihood of them paying your claim. So that's it, guys. It's not really complicated. I just wanted to do a quick video on it. I knew it wouldn't take long. It's just little things that you're going to have to answer when you call, or even when you're submitting the claim online. They're going to be asking you these questions. It's going to be like a whole checklist thing, and you're going to have to make sure you have all your ducks in a row before going ahead and do it. Just make sure you have a copy of your policy handy all the time. We do free policy reviews at Elite Resolutions. Feel free to send it to us to make sure that you've got a good policy. And then you can go on to eliteresolutions.com for that. And then we've also got Commercial Claims Advocate, where we can provide you with all kinds of services in the insurance claims industry. I had been looking for an accountant for years, and I was unable to find anybody that I liked, that I worked with, and was able to do what I needed to be done to my taxes and to my accountant. Jeremy David at Noble Wealth has been a godsend to me, my family, and my company. We have saved so much money in taxes I can't even begin to describe, and he knows what he's doing. You need to call Jeremy at Noble Wealth and get yourself the right accountant, because he's the man who's going to help you save on taxes. Because ultimately, you don't want to be making money, especially if you're self-employed, and having it all go to the IRS. Call Jeremy, call Noble Wealth, and they will help you tremendously with the entire accounting process and your tax situation from A to Z. Additional living expenses is one of the most difficult parts of an insurance claim, and the reason is it's very high pressure. And as a public adjuster or contractor, you're already dealing with the negotiating of the build back process. You don't want to have to deal with ALE as well. Black Diamond Housing Services does all of that. They don't even charge the client. They bill it directly to the insurance company. It's all covered under the ALE coverage. So you need to call Black Diamond if you have a house that has been severely lost, whether it's like severe mold, severe water, fire, or anything like that, where they need a place to stay. Call Black Diamond Housing Services, and they'll be able to take care of your client from beginning to end. So that's it. That's what we've got, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vince Perri. I'm the Commercial Claims Advocate. Again, don't forget to subscribe below. We've got so many good things. Just tons of videos. It's a whole rabbit hole at this point that you could go into. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week. Peace out.